Hello and welcome to this edition of Iron Sports, and I am Jermaine Brown. Well, in this edition, was it a vote of confidence or no confidence? The Amateur Swimming Association of Jamaica President Handel Lamy clears the air on issues internally, and that has been in the media. We also look at the most coveted sporting administration in Jamaica. What's on the cards for this weekend? Who will be up next for the JFF? And we also highlight a new franchise cricket league which bowls off this weekend. As usual, let us know what you think by heading to our Facebook page, Iron Sports JA. We take a break, but stick around. When we come back, we're going to be circling the ASAJ paparazzi style. Soon come. Right then, welcome back to Iron Sports. There were expectations of a vote of no confidence against the president of the Amateur Swimming Association of Jamaica, Handel Lamy. However, those fears were allayed somewhat on Wednesday evening for Lamy and his administration. He spoke with the TVJ Sports immediately following a 4-hour council meeting on Wednesday evening. Take a look. One of the items that we suspected would have been on the agenda is a no confidence vote. Was that even moved in the meeting today?
There was no, I have no knowledge of that being on the agenda. There was no such matter that was placed on our agenda.
Right. So it wasn't discussed, it wasn't raised?
Wasn't raised, wasn't discussed. Yeah. That's not a matter that was placed on our agenda. Yeah. I think somebody probably have misled you, and that was totally false. We never had that on our agenda for today.
And what of a call for a special general meeting?
That was never put on the agenda also. None.
So in terms of your next major meeting, when will that be?
We have a meeting every month. Every month. Yeah. The second Wednesday of every month we have our meeting here.
And what would you say was the most pressing issue this evening, though? Because we know their internal wranglings and so on.
The most pressing issue that we discussed this evening is CARIFTA 2018, where we had the chair of the CARIFTA 2018 committee, Dr. Brian James, come and present to the council the plans for CARIFTA 2018. We hope for this to be our stellar swimming event for 2018. We will have all the countries from the Caribbean coming here and participating in this event. We have a very big budget for this meet because we plan to really showcase Jamaica, showcase our swimmers, and showcase our organization talent and abilities. And
surely we'll be there to support that too. But certainly, in terms of the atmosphere in the AGM at present, how would you describe it? Is it a fractious one? Because this was a long meeting, and you did point out that based on all the issues that you had to discuss, you weren't even able to complete everything. So how would you describe the current mood within the AGM?
The mood is very, very good. As you can see, there's no discord. We are all of one accord.
All right, so you were able to settle the pressing matters that you had?
We settled all the matters that were pressing and important. The only matters that were not touched were matters that were not of high importance.
Yeah. And you yourself, are you feeling under pressure as president? In 2016 there was a no confidence motion was moved against you. You did survive that one. There was talks this time around of another one. So how are you feeling as president of the association? Do you feel under pressure?
Certainly not. When we are called to positions of leadership, we have to exhibit all the qualities of good leadership. Namely, being able to direct and motivate the people around you. And secondly, if there are issues, deal with the issues. We have certain issues presently within the organization. The problems that we have are not insurmountable. They are all solvable. We all have to come together and decide to work together. The problem is that in the past, there have been seeds of discord sown and disunity, and we as an organization have not functioned according to our rules, regulations, and our constitution.
And how are you looking to address those seeds of discord and so on?
Well, first thing we have done is to make everybody aware of our constitution, our rules, bylaws, and how we are governed. And we have put all our committees in place that are required for the council to function.
Was that done tonight at tonight's meeting?
No, that has been done since I have taken up leadership.
But based on what you would describe as leaks to the media and etc., are you looking to censor anyone or any members of the association, or what specifically are you looking to do to ensure that you are comfortable with how everyone operates within your executive and being council members?
Well, I do not know where you got that information from. However, as I said, we are an organization of rules, and the rules will apply. So that's all I have to say. People must know that they have to respect the rules of the association.
You smile when you say that, Sir Lamy. Is that something that was actually discussed this evening?
The rules of the association?
Yeah,
we discussed the rules of the... One of the things that we try to do every meeting is to expound on some area of our rules that it might be not clear to everyone, to make sure we elucidate other members of the council, because some people might be coming to council for the first time. Right. For instance, we had somebody at council this evening who is their first time sitting at the council and representing their club at this council. So they would be new to the nuances and operations of council, and also the rules, bylaws, and the constitution that apply.
All right, so would you then say that the air has been cleared and it's a fresh slate, at least heading to November, where the actual AGM is expected?
Well, we'll continue with our program to plan for CARIFTA 2018 and to carry out swimming in Jamaica straight until the end of my term, and which we will have our AGM, which we will present ourselves or whoever seek to present themselves for election, and they do have that right to do so. So we will operate as normal.
President of the ASAJ, the Amateur Swimming Association of Jamaica, Hande Lamy, saying, well, from here on they'll be operating as normal. Not the easiest man to catch up with, Hande Lamy, and surviving, well, averting a what would have been a second no confidence vote, because I think it was in December 2016 that one was raised or moved against his association. So we'll continue to track the ASAJ and what's happening there. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll dive over to another sporting event, because on Saturday afternoon, a new president of the Jamaica Football Federation will be decided or elected at the annual general meeting, which of course will be a voting Congress too. Now there are two candidates, former JFF Vice President and President of the Clarendon Football Association, Michael Ricketts, as well as the former CASAFA President, Ambassador Stuart Stevenson. But what should they be willing to endure for at least the next 2 years? Well, joining us to preview what's to come on Saturday is Anil, 1878 Meredith, our own in-house football analyst. Anil, welcome back to Iron Sports. We're just a few days away now from the hotly expected and what will be a hotly contested election. We understand, or we hope it could very well be a landslide for one. Let's see what happens. But at this juncture, based on what you've heard in the media, of course, Michael Ricketts saying, well, he will present his manifesto after the elections. But what do you make of the latest happenings?
Well, basically, both individuals going about it in, I say, Michael Ricketts in an unorthodox way. He has gone for really a zone of special old boys, really hunkering down with them in terms and ensuring that he will be getting the votes. He has already stated that he's confident that he'll be getting the 7 or the 8 votes needed. Stuart Stevenson really going the way of utilizing all the media and trying to get persons to really see his vision. But we have seen that situation again. It won't be a national vote. It will be just 13 individuals. So I think we saw Craig Butler utilize some method towards trying to, and he couldn't get 4 votes. So I'm thinking and looking at it, it looks like Michael Ricketts looks like he's going to be in poll, and all that the sentiments you have been hearing from the hierarchy thus far seems like they'll be going with them.
Yeah, so at this point, Michael Ricketts looks like the looks like the
he looks to be in the box seat, yes. But in politics, you know what can happen within a day.
Yeah, As we've seen it even recently as the U.S. election. Right?
So.
Transparency has always been an issue where the JFF is concerned, and even other sporting associations. But based on how both candidates have been going at it, who looks to be willing to be transparent with his operations?
Well, you would have to look at Stevenson. He has been open with everything that he has brought to the fore. Ricketts has really kept his cards close to the table, and he's a part of a lot of people would say the old way, but also a successful way in which we have really got. We really, under Captain Burrell, really achieved a lot. So you'd say that he has been part of the success and also the failure of the football. So I think when you look at it, you'd have to say Stevenson has presented that level of transparency. Not saying that Mr. Ricketts isn't transparent, but I just think that because it's 13 votes, I think that he doesn't really have to come out and say anything to the public right now until he's in the box seat.
Is it fair for Ricketts and his team to suggest or to paint Stevenson as an outsider? Because certainly, in the true sense of the word, Stevenson is certainly not a football outsider, but that is how he's being presented by the other side.
Well, when you look on what Stevenson, in terms of the hierarchy, even with Captain Burrell there, they had their tiffs. And he was always deemed as somebody that is maybe to the left and while they are to the right. So from that standpoint, I think you'll be looking at him that he was never a part of that group that really supported the captain or really was with the captain. So I think from that way, that is really, they have really positioned him that way. And in politics, everything is fair game. Michael Ricketts want to win, so anything to get and sway the delegates on his behalf, he's going to utilize it.
I like that you mentioned swaying the delegates, because what do you think someone like Stevenson can use to sway the delegates in his favor come Saturday?
Well, one thing he has brought to the fore is the finances in terms of ensuring that everybody is compensated. I think that would be one. But when you look at Stevenson again, and he was with CASAF and just coming out and stating that he didn't want to end up a pauper out of football, I think that it goes against him in terms of wanting now to get back into this job in the present situation. It's still not a paying job. So I think that goes against him, and a lot of people might look on him and say that he's to some extent a quitter, because he was at CASAF and he walked away from CASAF, and now he wants back the job. So there is where I think he will have a problem. This job is going to take up much more time than just being at CASAF. So if it's not a paying job, or it doesn't become a paying job, what should we expect from him? On Ricketts' side now, he has been there, been through the good and the bad, and a lot of people like to say we want new. But again, we have to have this balance. You have to have also people there that have been there, done that, to really guide the new individuals that will be coming into the system. So I think that I wouldn't hold that against the persons that failed with the captain, because they also succeeded with the captain.
Right. Speaking of that, Ricketts' team, or members of his team, have insinuated that they are the ones who were there when there were issues, and they are the ones who should fix the particular issues, and not anyone coming in to fix it for them or for the JFF. What do you make of this specific argument?
Well, I think that when you look at it, I think that I have a problem with a statement like that, because again, you always want fresh ideas coming through the fore, and you'll get that from sometimes some persons not close to the system. At the same time, you want persons who are there and understand the system to really guide the younger persons, or persons with the new ideas, going to see if they can be plausible or they are just pies in the sky. So I think that, as I said, balance is important, but I just thought that statement really did not, I think it was unfortunate. It shouldn't have come out that way.
Right.
And I think
could this hurt them, you think?
I don't think so, because when you look on what is there, as I say, is a zone, what is happening in Montego Bay, where most of the persons who are heads of football, the federation, they have been with Ricketts, and I think that is what he's banking on to take him over the line. They have barely been the old boys within the system, and I think they want to show Jamaica also that they give them the opportunity, they can right the wrong.
O'Neil Meredith, let's see what will be the right decision come Saturday.
Well,
the JFF voting.
I hope football wins, because that's what needs to win here right now.
All right, 1878, thank you so very much for joining us here on Iron Sports. We go to a break and come back with some cricket. Stay with us.